What is happening in Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood? Imagine please that you are getting kicked out of the house that you have spent your childhood, adulthood, and all your life over. And then all of a sudden, someone is coming to you and asking you to get out. Sorry, someone is coming and kicking you out of your own house. That's what happened for 500 Palestinian people who have just been forced to evacuate their own houses. And when they get questioned, they will say, if I don't steal it, somebody else gonna do that. So I must take your house before somebody else take it over.
Jacob, you know this is not your house.
Yes, but if I go, you don't go back. So what's the problem? Why are you yelling at me? I didn't do this. I didn't do this.
But
It's easy to yell at me, but I didn't do this.
You are stealing my house.
And if I don't steal it, someone else is gonna steal it.
No one is allowed to steal it, يا عمي.
What is being stolen here is the last glimpse of hope. So some people are questioning, is the problem about religion? Israel is oppressor, Palestinians are oppressed. Ain't it just an argument between the Muslims and Jews about the land though? Let me share to you this story. Before the creation of Israel, back in 73 years ago, Palestinian Christians, Jews, and Muslims were living so peacefully and coexisted in Palestine.
نحن فلسطينيون يهود ونريد أن نعيش تحت الحكم الفلسطيني.
However, the Palestinian Christian community is the oldest Christian community. Oh, there are Palestinian Christians? There definitely are Palestinians, Jews too, like the Samaritans who reside in Nablus, and both are oppressed by Israel. The point is making the suffering Palestinians seem like a religious conflict is actually wrong. Well, when I say Israel, I refer to a group of people, a group of settlers who are just colonizing Palestine. So what is badly happening now is the colonizers are coming to the Palestinians and asking them to evacuate. Sorry, they're not asking them. They are forcing them to evacuate their own houses. That is what's happening in Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood.
أنا يعني بعرفهم بدي أروح يا زلمة. أنا كل ذكرياتي هون. أنا طفولتي هون، فتوتي هون، شبابي هون، دراستي هون، مدرستي من هون، تخريجي من جامعة من هون، تجويزي وأولادي من هون، كلهم بهذا الدار. كل حجر بالدار بيحكي قصة عندي.
And they are saying that before 1948, the Palestinian land were owned by Jews. They claimed, and the court said the claim is right. How would you ever say that? And back then, 73 years ago, they were living peacefully. Well, if you are really serious about your claim, why wouldn't you give my grandfather back his house in Jaffa? You would definitely not. So the real story is Jordan donated these lands in Jerusalem, and UNRWA donated them money to let them build houses in the land and live in. So these refugees from Jaffa and some other parts of the occupation can have houses after Israelis occupied theirs. So imagine you are being forced to evacuate your house twice. The first one in back then 1948 from Jaffa and some other parts of the occupation, and the other one is 60 years later in Jerusalem. Lands are still being taken. Settlements and Israeli settlers are still being powered to evacuate and to force the Palestinian settlers to leave their own houses. And that's why the Palestinian folks are fighting now for not letting their houses to get stolen. They are being assaulted, brutally beaten, and even killed. So yes, Israel is currently trying to minimize what is happening into a religious conflict and draw up the attention away of what is really happening over there. From the fact that they are settler colony, still in the process of brutally colonizing Palestine. Plus, they are responsible for the displacement of the 7.2 million Palestinian refugees all over the world.
هذا بيتي، هذا بابي. لمين تشكي والقاضي غريمك.
Let's talk about the last point. Why are Israelis attacking Al-Aqsa Mosque? And what is the relationship between Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood and Al-Aqsa Mosque? Everybody knows that Al-Aqsa Mosque is one of the most soft and holiest spots in Islam. The way of how Israelis act toward the Palestinians is by not letting them to pray at Al-Aqsa Mosque and telling them, he said, if you will behave, of course we're going to let you to pray in your own mosque. But if you act out and keep protesting and rebelling, we're going to attack it and take it away from you. And that's what they exactly do. They attacked the Muslims while they are having iftar during Ramadan. They closed Al-Aqsa on the Muslims and they threw some bombs in the masjid. They arrested women.
الصوت ووابل قناه الرصاص المطاطي في الساحات الخارجيه الان. الله اكبر! الله اكبر!
Well, focus, my friend. So what Israel does is use Al-Aqsa Mosque as a way to control the Palestinian people. They have been using Al-Aqsa as a tool just to suppress the Palestinian rights. Let's share this video and try to reach the highest amount of people and let everybody know what is happening in Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood and how they are forcing them to evacuate their own houses.